What's up, guys? Welcome to Winner's Circle. I am JJ, and this is Caleb. He will be here for pretty much all the episodes. This is going to be a sports show that we cover
Basically,
just a little bit of everything.
Pretty much.
So,
Next topic media, baby.
Yeah, whatever's going on that week, whatever games, news, anything, we're just going to cover that. Right now, we're getting ready for football season,
Whoop whoop.
especially college football season, which...
Because that's the most fun to watch.
Yeah.
Regardless of popular opinion.
College sports in general are just more fun to watch.
I concur.
Well, used to be,
Except for hockey.
Well, hockey's not fun to watch anyway.
You're wrong. You're so wrong.
Okay. So if we talk about hockey, you're the one talking about hockey. I guess at the beginning of this week, the SEC media polls, SEC media days as a whole happened.
Right.
And you've got your media poll that comes out that's voted on by media members that most of the time have no clue what they're talking about except for the one team they cover. But, I'm going to say that's probably reflected by these polls. But, alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just read the SEC East, finishing order to you. And then I want to hear what you have to say about the East. Georgia 1, obviously.
Yep.
Kentucky 2, Tennessee 3, Florida 4, South Carolina 5, Missouri 6, Vandy 7. So, 6 or 7, there's no debate on that.
Absolutely.
They're going to be 13 or 14 in the SEC.
Yeah, for sure.
Missouri might sneak into the top 10 some years, but, most years, 13, 14 in the entire SEC, Missouri, Vanderbilt. But 1 through 5, what are your thoughts on that?
I like 1 and 2. Obviously, Georgia's going to win the SEC East. There's no debating that.
Yeah.
I think Kentucky's going to have a really good team, and I think the rest of the SEC East is just so mediocre that Kentucky could actually take home second in the East. I do think South Carolina is going to have a better year than most people are predicting. They finished the season really well last year. I like their head coach. I think Billy Napier in his first year at Florida's going to have success with him. If the fans actually give him time to build something, they will have success with him. But it's going to take time, and I don't see them first year coming out above South Carolina in the SEC East. I think South Carolina has an upset win there, and I don't know about Tennessee. I think all in all, I think this is a pretty good vote.
Yeah.
It's probably where I would have had it. I probably would have switched Florida and South Carolina, and that would probably be my only change.
Yeah. Okay. Georgia 1, obviously. In my book, I don't know who would not have Georgia 1, and
Florida
for that, I think even most Florida fans with a sensible brain would have to put Georgia 1.
How many of those are there in existence, though?
Yeah, that's a good question. And then in the West, obviously Alabama will be 1.
Absolutely.
There's no debate either way. But looking at the East, Kentucky fans are going to hate me in this show throughout.
JJ hates Kentucky.
I don't hate Kentucky,
but
Kentucky's not the number 2 team in the East.
I think we disagree on that.
Kentucky football is one of the most overhyped team ever.
I would agree with you there. I think when...
They are not a top 15 team like a lot of people say.
Okay, I agree, but neither is any other team in the East besides Georgia.
I would say, I'm not saying...
Right now, this year.
I'm not going to say Kentucky's not the second best team. Kentucky's not the number 2 team because they're either 2 or 3.
Sure.
Them in Tennessee, that's close. I'm not going to argue with Kentucky being 2 because I could see where you put Kentucky at 2.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd probably have Tennessee at 2 and Kentucky at 3.
That's fair.
But I can and it shows the amount of first place votes, which is how they rank them.
Tennessee got a first place vote.
Well, they got first place in all the SEC, but the amount of vote, which probably a Tennessee writer that did that, because Tennessee fans are also.
Vanderbilt also got one, so
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
That's a pity vote. But total votes wise, Kentucky got 932, Tennessee got 929.
It was close.
So
very close. Yeah.
I'm not going to argue either way, 2 or 3. I would say personally, Tennessee at 2, Kentucky at 3. But I'm not going to say. And then I would agree probably South Carolina over Florida this year.
For sure.
I think both South Carolina and Florida are building to where they will
get to where they once were.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
South Carolina hadn't been good since Steve Spurrier retired.
Yeah.
I think they will get back to that level. I really do. I like what they're doing recruiting wise.
Spencer Rattler's gonna be there this year. I think he's
whatever that.
I think he's gonna do decent. I don't think he's gonna do great. He was definitely overhyped, but he's also gonna be playing Vanderbilt and Missouri. Florida. I don't see Florida being that.
Okay, good. But you say he's going to be playing Vanderbilt, Missouri, Florida. Vanderbilt, I can see that's like playing a group of 5 school. But Florida, Missouri, how many Big 12 teams that he were playing are actually better than Florida and Missouri?
There's a few. Baylor,
Texas,
Oklahoma on a good day.
Well, he played at Oklahoma.
That's what I'm saying. But he's also going to be with a different program that's played these teams before.
Yeah.
He knows what it takes to beat them. He's in a different system. He's not with Lincoln Riley anymore.
But I would say being with Lincoln Riley helped him.
For sure, but I also think being with, I can't remember his name.
Shane Bieber.
Yeah.
Shane Beamer.
I think that's going to help him too. I'm not saying Spencer Rattler is going to be the best quarterback in the SEC East.
I've seen people throw him in the Heisman.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Again.
And maybe he proves me wrong, but I don't see him even probably being a top 10 quarterback, maybe a top 10 quarterback in the SEC, but he's at the bottom of the top 10 if he's there. But I don't know. I see him having a pretty decent year. And
I think he will be a good starting quarterback, better than any starting quarterback South Carolina has had in years.
Sure, absolutely.
And
like I said, Florida, Billy Napier is a great hire for Florida. I wanted, no disrespect to Mike Leach, I'm very happy we have Mike Leach as Mississippi State's head coach. I love Mike Leach, but I wanted Billy Napier. When that job was open 2 years ago, I really wanted Billy Napier because if you can take a team like Louisiana Lafayette to top 25 polls, and he's even beat teams, he beat Power 5 teams while he was there. He built a good program there. And if you give him time, Florida fans, if you give him time, he is going.
You ran Dan Mullen out of there, even as much as
you ran Jim McElwain out of there. He was there for 2.5 years and won the SEC East twice.
And
and I know there was other stuff going on around that caused him to leave. But even with Dan Mullen's a great coach, and even at Mississippi State, he went from being the number 1 team in the country to 2 years later barely making a bowl game because his senior class had a high GPA. Like, he was going to have an off year eventually, and you ran him out of there because you're expecting a coach to come in and be dominant. And it's not how college football works unless you're Nick Saban, because even Dabo Swinney had an off year last year.
And I know a lot of the reason you run Dan Mullen off at Florida is his recruiting rankings were not there.
Yeah, they were not.
And
he's a bad recruiter.
Yeah. He's a good coach, bad recruiter.
Mm-hmm. Always has been.
A lot of people's, what they said when they hired Mullen is he'd be able to recruit Florida because Florida recruits itself. It's not true anymore.
No.
Florida, 10 years ago?
Yeah, absolutely.
And does Florida recruit itself more than a lot of places? Yes, but not more than a Georgia, not more than Alabama, not more than LSU.
Not more than Tennessee. People go to Tennessee, man, just because it's Tennessee.
I wouldn't even say more than A&M.
Oh, absolutely.
So, Florida is a mid-pack SEC team right now. Now, do I think they will be back at the top of the SEC?
Absolutely.
If you give Billy Napier time?
If he gives time. If you actually give him time to get players in there that he wants to build something.
You've got to give him
3 years at least.
I was going to say 4.
Even 4 years. And you will be a contender for the SEC East every year. It just is going to take time. As for Tennessee, they had a good year for their standards last year, considering what had been in the program.
Yeah.
I see them having kind of the similar year. They're going to win a game they're not supposed to. They're going to lose a game they're not supposed to, and it's going to kind of be kind of like that. I think, I don't know. I'm okay with the rankings overall. That's what we're going with.
The East especially, I'm okay with. I got some problems with the West.
The East. I mean, let's just be real. No one is challenging Georgia in the East.
Right.
All right. It's not even close. It's like you have Georgia and then everyone.
I would say the East is not even close. The West is really not close.
But it's closer.
But it's closer than the East.
Absolutely.
Which is shocking and surprising. That's just, in my opinion, how mediocre. I'd say
because
I'm gonna say right now, in the West poll. Well,
I'll edit that out.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm gonna keep it.
But in the West, 2 through, I could make an argument that 2 through 7, if you slotted them in the East, they would be one of the second or third best teams in the East.
I'd say that except for 7. That's my only thing.
I would maybe leave 7 out, but
yeah.
I would also.
I agree with you. Other than 7,
I could also see Auburn being better than Florida, South Carolina, Missouri, Vanderbilt.
I can't. That's just me personally.
Missouri,
Vanderbilt. Maybe Missouri. I'll be honest. I think Auburn is that bad this year. I'm not lying.
Yeah. Auburn could be a lot worse than I'm thinking, but all right. So let's move to the West. We've been talking about the West. Let's move to the West.
Whoop, whoop.
All right, Alabama, obviously. A&M.
Obviously, they're going to be second place.
Arkansas, Ole Miss, LSU, Mississippi State, Auburn.
Here's where we get into it, John James. Arkansas had a great year. Okay.
They
had a decent year.
Before you keep going, let me say this. I said Kentucky's the most overhyped team in football. Arkansas would be a close second.
Yes.
All right, continue.
When they were saying, I remember last year on SEC Nation, they were going through which teams they thought were going to challenge Alabama in the West. And everyone basically said Texas A&M or Ole Miss, except for Tim Tebow, who decided this was going to be Arkansas's year. Now, Tim Tebow, I love Tim Tebow. Okay?
Tim Tebow, best college football player ever.
You're so wrong. You're wrong. We can debate that later if you want. But Arkansas was not going to contend for the SEC West. Okay? I don't think they're going to contend for it this year. There's going to be a lot of close games that they're going to play. They are a lot like Mississippi State in that way, where a lot of games are going to be close. But are they going to pull it out against Alabama? No. Are they going to pull it out against Texas A&M? No. I don't even think they're going to beat Ole Miss this year. It'll be a close game. I don't think they're going to pull it out.
And, all right, I should know this, but is the Arkansas-Mississippi State game, where is it played?
Mississippi State. Remember, last year we were at Arkansas, missed, 4 field goals?
Yeah.
And then,
okay.
Yeah.
Then I would say they probably don't even pull that game out.
Yeah, I also agree, especially after last year. Arkansas was kind of like the opposite of Mississippi State was last year in ways. Like, Mississippi State was a few plays away from having a very different season. Some made field goals, some non-calls made. Very different season. Arkansas was on the other end of that, where they had a great season because they were getting by some close games, like Mississippi State, for example. And it's very on edge, Mississippi State and Arkansas both, on whether or not their season is going to be very good by Mississippi State and Arkansas standards or very bad by Mississippi State and Arkansas standards, because of how evenly matched they're going to be with a lot of teams. Right. And just how competitive the SEC is in general. Looking
at the SEC West, I would argue 2 through 6, there will be so much difference. I mean, you'll have A&M will lose to somebody, but then that person will lose to Auburn, something like that. I mean,
that's just how the SEC West is.
2 through 6, I'd say talent level is almost right here.
Yeah,
there's not much separation.
I mean, let's remember last year in a 3-week span, Mississippi State beat Texas A&M, Texas A&M beat Alabama, and then Alabama just destroyed Mississippi State all the way around. I mean, it's a very tight group. Obviously, Alabama is going to be at the top.
Oh, yeah.
And is it possible they could get upset by Texas A&M or an Ole Miss? Maybe, but I don't see it happening. I think Alabama's going to have an undefeated regular season, and I mean, it's possible, but Texas A&M.
Is it possible that Alabama loses to one of these teams? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it likely? No.
If they were to lose to one, JJ, who do you think they're losing to?
See, I don't know. I would sadly, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
If there's a team on here,
just because they're going to be traveling to Oxford this year, and Ole Miss has very high expectations, and their offense is so electric,
which we'll get it. I would say you got Kentucky and Arkansas the most overrated. Ole Miss is right there behind them. But
I don't know if I'd say right there. I don't think they're as good as people are making them out to be.
They're not a top 10 team, which I've seen so many times.
They're not a top 10 team. I would agree.
But
they're a top 25 team.
Yeah,
I would say.
But I would say 2 through 6 in the SEC West is a top 25 team.
I don't think LSU's a top 25 team.
I don't know what to expect from LSU.
I don't think LSU's going to be good at all. I don't think they're going to bounce back. I'll be real.
Brian Kelly was an amazing hire.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. But in year one, I don't see him going through the SEC West, playing Alabama, losing to Alabama, then the next week, whoever they're going to play, winning.
Yeah.
Let me go look at LSU's schedule real quick.
I mean, like I said, I think LSU's either going to be. I think they could honestly end up anywhere from 2 to 7, which I mean, that's a dumb statement.
That's everybody in the SEC West, man.
I think LSU is the team that intrigues me the most.
I'd agree with that, just because there's so much mystery around.
There's so much mystery because so many of their players are either freshmen or transfers from all over the place, everywhere.
And that's why I don't think they're going to be good in year one. Give them time. LSU is going to be a powerhouse in the SEC West with Brian Kelly as the head coach. It's another thing with Billy Napier. Except I don't think he needs as long as Billy Napier does to build something.
Yeah, he doesn't. Once again, LSU recruits itself.
Yeah.
Any top player in Louisiana that they want, they get.
Absolutely.
I mean, really any player in Louisiana, period. If they want them, they're theirs.
Yeah, but let's look at their schedule real quick. They start with Florida State. That's an interesting game because Florida State.
Win.
I'm not sure, man. Florida State is not going to be as bad as they've been in the past.
They aren't, and I like Mike Norvell at Florida State.
Yeah.
Florida State is not on the LSU level even this year, to me. I don't think. Which that's going to be a close game, but
yeah.
I mean, I
could say LSU would pull it out, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
They got Southern U, that's a win.
Yeah.
Mississippi State in Death Valley.
That's a win.
For
LSU.
I don't know. See, that's the thing, because we don't know how good LSU is or how not good LSU is. And Mississippi State is returning a lot of people. And yes, it's in Death Valley. Mississippi State last year, once again, a game where they're a couple plays away from pulling that game out.
A field goal
from pulling that game out. Like, it's going to be another close game. The fact that it's in Death Valley leads me to
that is the exact reason I'm saying LSU.
But that's a game that LSU could potentially lose. New Mexico, they'll win. Then they got Auburn. I think that's a win. I think they lose to Tennessee. Depending on how they're going to have to travel to the Swamp. Then they'll have Ole Miss, then Alabama, then Arkansas, UAB, which is a win in Texas A&M. Those last 5 out of the last 6 games are not going to be easy wins.
Right. Which I can say about, once we likely said, there's no separation 2 through 6, honestly.
Yeah.
And I could say that about any of these. Really, A&M and Ole Miss are the two that I feel pretty comfortable saying they will get at least 6 wins.
Yeah.
Probably even 8 wins.
As a whole or as an SEC?
Overall.
Overall, 8 wins? Okay.
A&M and Ole Miss, I feel pretty comfortable saying they get 8 wins.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Arkansas, LSU, Mississippi State. 6. I could make a case for any of those 3 teams to only get 3 wins or to get 9 wins.
Yeah.
Or somewhere in between. I mean, I was looking at Arkansas' schedule the other day because, I'm going to go ahead and say on our TikTok, Next Topic Media Sports, I'm going to be going through every team and doing a game-by-game prediction for every team. And then Arkansas,
oh, man,
there's a very, very high chance that I could see them only winning 3 games.